What is up, Juventus fans? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our latest edition of the show that you all liked, that you called, that you said it was a great show, great analysis. You said progressive passes. Of course, he's going to have over 95 percentile. He's a lone DM in shape and in space like that. Yes, you gave us all these rave reviews, whatever you had to say. You asked me if I was sick, all these great reviews. Anyway, we have the latest edition of the Coach's Corner. This time, we're going to be talking about Kaio Jorge and what he brings to the club. Actually, a player that's actually signed with the club and not just a player that's potentially will we get him, will we not, back and forth. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, before we do that, let's go ahead and just let's give you that intro right now and stick with us and we will fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone and welcome back to what we are calling Coach's Corner again. It was a big hit. Thank you, sir, for joining us again. You did it last time. This is your show. I'm just here to be what I am. It's just I open it up and I close it, but that's about what I bring to this. You bring the in-depth analysis and everything that we can get from the players that we're expecting going forward. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, and don't give yourself not a lot of credit there. You're very good. You're very good at moderating. You're very good at your inputs. You know what you're talking about.
I appreciate it. There's just sometimes when we're doing these lives or something where people be like, Justin, what are your thoughts on how will the left-footed center back affect this compared to right-footed? And I'm like, dude, I don't freaking know. Like, I know a little bit. Yes, he's worse off than this guy. But outside of that, I couldn't tell you the intricacies of all these little issues. That's why we have guys like you here. Like I said, I am the dancing bear. That's what I do. Yeah. I bring the energy and whatever. But anyway, we're going to dive into this and we're going to talk about what we can expect from Kaio Jorge, a little bit of his tactics or whatever, how he can be utilized maybe in Allegri's system, what we can expect from him going forward. Is he the next Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, whatever you have it? We will see. Julian will answer us now. Let's go ahead and just flip it over into the other view, and here we go. All right, we have it. Your man of the hour, Kaio Jorge, the one we're talking about today. We're going to break him down, what he's bringing to the club. He's definitely Mr. Ronaldo replacement. We can get Ronaldo out of here because we got this guy. That's all we need now. Julian. Okay, now my nonsense. I'm gonna cool my nonsense down, guys. I'm gonna let Julian take over and tell you as we welcome Kaio Jorge to the club and tell you what you can expect from our newest striker.
Okay, so we actually got a signing in the summer. Obviously, it's Kaio Jorge. I YouTubed how the pronunciation of his name. And from what I learned, it's Kaio Jorge.
Oh, okay.
And that's how you say that. So if we want to start saying that, we can do whatever we want, though, because we are not proper media.
That's easier than George, honestly. It's just George.
Yeah. Kaio Jorge.
George, yes.
So, looking into this player, you mentioned, is he going to be Ronaldo? Is he going to be Neymar? He's not. Let's not put him on a pedestal yet. As you can see in our graphic here, I compared him to best case scenario. He becomes Roberto Firmino of Liverpool, and that's like a support striker kind of. He does everything. He links play. He does all the good stuff. He's not a world beater. He's not going to score every game. He's not going to contribute to goals every game, but he'll do off the ball stuff very well. So if we see on our opening graphic as well, we see the 2020, 2021 counting stats. This year he's made 18 appearances, scored 4 goals, 3 assists. Nothing too big, nothing too concerning there. He's 19 years old, so he's still learning he was learning in the Brasileiro, in the Serie A in Brazil. And he made 7 goal contributions in 18 games. Nothing that great, nothing that pops out. But it's a fourth striker that we're bringing in here. We have to know what we're bringing in here, and I'm going to go into that further along the line. But if we look at the transaction, we got him for 3 million euros plus $1 million in bonuses from Santos. And again, guys, there's not much on him right now. There's about 60 games total. And I did my best to dig it up, and we'll go into it. Justin, what do you think?
I think
before we go into it, what do you think?
Well, I was going to say, as you were saying, he is the savior of Juventus football. He is about to win us the UCL. We're good to go.
Yeah.
We're all set with the addition of Kaio Jorge, and for now on, we know that this season we are bringing that trophy home. No, I think that's good. I think that's about what I expected from this player. Didn't expect him to come, and he's every single time they just love hyping guys. They love saying, whoever's going to be the next whatever, like I said, I go basketball a lot. Whoever's the next LeBron. Every year I hear it, all these kids coming out of high school or young ages. And of course, Kaio Jorge is going to be that next player that's going to have this unfair, weight put on his shoulders of you're going to be this guy. And it's just like, does he have potential to do that? More than likely, yeah. I'm sure he's got flashes of potential, but very few can live up to that level. So I'm interested to see what he can bring. And I think it's good that we pull ourselves back a little bit. I think most Juventus fans they're pretty reasonable when it comes to this one. They don't expect him to come in and be this great guy. I haven't really seen a lot of, I've seen a lot of articles from other sources saying that he's this next guy. He's this next whatever. Like I said, I don't want to use the same terms I always use, but Neymar, Ronaldo, whatever have you. But I just also want fans to be like, you don't want to hear the same thing we hear with the young guys that we have in U23s. Where it's like, why isn't he getting playing time? He should be the guy doing this. It's like maybe let him grow into it. Maybe there's a reason he's not ready to start for the premier team of Italy. Like maybe
exactly.
Maybe calm down a little bit.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of my thought on it. I'm excited to see what he can bring, though.
Yeah, exactly. So he's come. When did he officially sign? August 2nd, or when was his medical? It was around that time. So it's been 2 weeks already. And I know he had to quarantine. I know he had to do all that stuff, but we still have no idea what he's going to do. And we're not going to see him in a preseason game. I thought we were going to see him in a preseason game at least. He hasn't trained with the club yet. He's been training by himself or with another group. He was brought in to be on the first team, which is okay news. Like we're like, okay, we don't have to watch U23 games. We don't have to watch Primavera games to see what he can bring. But is he going to get enough playing time on the first team? Who does he have to usurp in the starting lineup? He has to go or take over Dybala, Ronaldo, Morata. Like these are big names, right? Yeah. So I see his first game probably not soon. If I'm going to be honest, I'm not. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say I'm glad you answered that because I had a couple of people just in the live I did recently asking me, will we see him against Udinese? Will we see him, playing in those matches or whatever have you?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't like we're fully fit up front with like those three attackers I just said. Kulusevski's fit, Kies is fit. If he was a midfielder, he probably would play. If I'm going to be honest, but he's not. Unfortunately, he's a striker. He's our fourth choice striker right now, and we're going to have to wait a bit longer because he has to still get acclimated with the club, with the team, with the new league, with a new coaching staff, and all this. And we're going to have to see what he brings. I'm going to let you guys know what he could bring, and if he ends up becoming a Bobby Firmino, you take that all day. Because Bobby Firmino is a very good player. He's not as clinical as we think, or as we hope.
Yeah, definitely. And that's I just think that's a good point to start this off. It's just to temper expectations.
Yeah.
Like I said, if he comes out and he has a big game, but I was interested to see if maybe he could get the opportunity to play sooner than later. But people were asking, like I said, Udinese or whatever have you. If it is, it's just in relief minutes at the end.
Yeah,
just to see what he can do. After the game,
a little cameo.
Yeah, it's a situation currently where we're in with Juventus where we can't really risk any matches right now. So like if the game was close and it's say it's 2-1 or 1-0 or something like that, you don't want to just throw some guy out there who may make a big mistake being on the big stage for the first time, and then you drop points and you're down points early like we were last season. Where I remember we had that good showing in Sampdoria and then we dropped points like 3 games in a row. And that literally set us up for the rest of the season, and why we were biting our nails at the very end to see if we'd even get in to the Champions League.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's my point. I'm excited to see what he can bring though in the future, and to watch him develop for the most part.
Yeah. So yeah. For sure, he's a promising player because he was highly sought after by many teams, and there were reports in the winter market last year in like 2021 that teams were offering 40 million or something. So to get him at 4 million, it's a good steal in my opinion. Again, he's 19. He's Brazilian. He's coming to Serie A, which is a very tactical league. Not many Brazilian young strikers do well when they first arrive. I'm going to point out to Adriano when he first arrived at Inter, his first spell at Inter. I'm going to point out a Pato who never really geared up for Milan. And I'm going to also point to Gabigol, the guy who went back to Brazil, actually, after his bad spell at Inter. So we'll see what happens. Let's not just throw him to the wolves. Let's integrate him. Let's see what happens. And now we'll start going with the graphics.
Yeah, let's check it out. That was a very smooth transition there that we had.
Yeah.
Let me throw this up here, what we got here, and that would be, let's see if I can do this real quick for you.
Yeah.
Appears we will.
I have 3 different instances, in-game instances that we're going to go through today, and it's not more finishing stuff. It's more off the ball work and link up play, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. Oh, I see what I was doing incorrectly there. There we go. I had locked the scene. Some producing going on here. I was like, what? I was just a mini breakdown there. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it.
It's there now. We see it on our right here, on our right, probably your left. I don't know. So Kaio Jorge is the guy with the ball there, and he's ran into the right-hand channel. The ball's been played into his feet, and now he is up against 3. I don't know who they're playing, to be honest, but another team, and he holds the ball, and he holds the ball up well, and he can get out of tough situations, like a 1 against 3, for example. So if we go to the next screen.
Wait, hold up. You're going to tell me that you didn't go through and watch every single match every team that he played against and then broke?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry, guys. You don't have to watch this. Just click off now. Click off the video. It doesn't matter. No, okay. Let's jump to the next one.
It might be Atletico Mineiro. So as we can see now, 2 defenders converge on him, and he's broken out of it. So now he's going towards goal. I know the picture doesn't show it completely, but the ball is right in front of his right foot there. He has the technical ability to run channels, hold the ball up, and get out of tough situations for his club, and hold the ball up and not lose the ball and have to defend again. So that's a good thing. Similar to what Morata does, except Morata's touch isn't always the greatest. And from what I've seen in these short clips of Kaio Jorge, his touch is pretty good from what I've seen. And you expect that from Brazilians. So I again, this is the Brazilian Serie A. I know it's not the same as the Italian Serie A. So they're going to be better defenders. They're going to be better tactically, but it's nice to see that he can wriggle himself out of situations and help his team move forward. So if we want to move to the next, or Justin, what do you have to say from these little clips?
Well, I wasn't to back it up, and I wanted to show, let's see, just the movement that he did.
Yeah.
So, because I think it makes it easier for me to see, when you see it on and then off that movement. Since, unfortunately, we're not able to play video.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest issue when it comes to football and then, YouTube, is you can't play the video, so you can't see it as well. So we have to describe it. It's we're playing mental gymnastics, trying to figure out exactly how the play is breaking down right now. So it's interesting to see how he did that. So so explain that again real quick, just that part real quick. What's happening from here to here, not as in detail. Just so he moves it from here.
So Kaio Jorge, he runs into the right-hand side of the channel. So there's 3 channels on the field. We'll break down what channels are. So there's the vertical channels there's a left channel, a middle channel, or a central channel, and a right channel. So from the 18-yard box to the right-hand touchline, that's the right channel. Yeah. So he's made his run into the right channel, and he's collected the ball, probably a long ball, and he's caught it into his feet, and now he has 3 defenders with him, and now he's gotten out of it, as we see the nice little quick producing from you. So now he's gotten out of a tough situation by making good movements up top, and he's still holding on to the ball, which is good. That's what Juventus needs, especially if we're late in the game and we need to relieve pressure. We need to hold the ball up. He can provide that from what I've seen so far.
Well, and that's so important because you think about so many issues where you'll get an attacker in there and then they just lose control of the ball, right?
Exactly.
As soon as they get there, they break down and they just let it go and the play's dead. Yep. It's every single time.
Yeah, I'm going to point out our first game against Lazio early on last season. Dybala came on, lost the ball. It was 1-0 for us in the 93rd minute. Lazio took the ball in a similar situation, not as far up the pitch, but like right on the halfway line. The ball lost out. Lazio scored, tied the game 1-1, dropped more points. It's stuff like that. So maybe Kaio Jorge can come on and maybe hold the ball up. He's a little bit bigger, stronger than Dybala. So who knows?
Yeah, you heard it from here first. He is better than Dybala. He will be taking Dybala's spot as soon as possible. We don't even need to sign the contract. We're good. We don't need an extension. You're fine, Dybala. You can move on. Anyway, are you ready to move on to the second part?
Yeah, we're talking about moving on. Let's move on.
After I killed it earlier and went back and talked about all that again. So I appreciate it. I just want to get, because it helped me a little bit more just to visualize it as it moved back and forth.
You can do it with this one too right now because so Kaio Jorge picks up the ball around the halfway line and we see some Santos attackers beyond him. So that means he's coming to get the ball, which is a good thing. He's not scared to pick up the ball in those areas. That's like a support striker. Bobby Firmino does that. He drops back, collects the ball, sprays it forward, back and forth. Mm-hmm. So we see Kaio Jorge, and then he's going to spray it out to the right. Nice long ball right in the air. Beautiful. Kaio picks up the ball. I assume that's the right wing back, and the attack continues. And he's open, so he has the vision to pick him out, which is very nice. Yeah. 19 years old, and he can do that in a professional game. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's something, I don't know if you call it in that, but I call it like good, it's good field management. Just being able to see, where he's going, to be able to deliver it on the spot like that. We don't, again, how many of our attackers even can do that right now? Like,
someone who's really good at picking the ball up and switching the ball right away. It was Higuain. You just get the ball, come back, get the ball, first touch, turn, bang it out and switched it to the other side of the field. And he was very good at that. It was kind of erratic sometimes because sometimes his touch would pop up and he'd swing his right foot up. It would be a great switch every time. This is more. His touch is a bit. He has more ability right here. The touch never bobbled up. It was on the ground the entire time, so it's good. Yeah, and he's just linking everybody involved as well. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, I like that. I like what I can see there from him. Definitely, and I agree with you. We need to bring Higuain back. Hopefully, Inter Miami will be able to. Anyway, send it back. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to derail. It's just I can't resist sometimes. Okay, that's awesome. I see that. And then, do you want to get to this last little part right now, or
we can move on. I was just talking about his vision there, so it's good. We can move on to the last slide, or not slide, I guess graphic.
That works. It's a slide. Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah.
Okay, now this part.
So this one's nice. I drew my little lines there. So Kaio has the Brazilian flair, so he back heels it and he links up nicely with the supporting player in attack. So as you can see, he's in the process of doing a nice little back heel. So he's playing touch tight to one of the center backs on the opposing team, and he has the strength to fend him off and do a nice fancy flick, and to involve another supporting attacker, and he has the Brazilian flair. Yeah. So go ahead, Justin. I was
just going to ask real quick. Sorry to interject, but I was going to ask. So with your drawing that you pointed out, are those like the two options he can go with, or are you going?
So sorry. So the ball came from this guy at the bottom here. So the ball was played into Kaio, and then he did a back heel with his right foot onto the guy near to the ref.
Okay. Oh,
so he's linked up to the So the guy who has his hand up a bit, he's running towards, and he's more of in the center of the pitch at that point. Yeah. And it'll be a 2-on-2 because that guy beside the ref, literally to the ref's left, that guy's out of the picture now because one ball beat him and then he flicked it around. Now it's a 2-on-2.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah. So again, the Brazilian flair's there. It's similar to what Bobby Firmino does with Salah and Mane. He gets them all involved. And as a striker, if you're not going to be always scoring the goal, involving players and other supporting attackers, that's the role you need to have.
Definitely. Okay. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. That really clears it for me. I like to see different little things of what he's able to do and what he brings to the table. Actually would like to go into it in just a sec, where we can jump into maybe just talking a little bit more just about what you'd like to see from him going forward.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that, but I really want to dive a little bit into that, what you would like to see and like what kind of not film to break down, but you know what I mean? I guess it is kind of what kind of we'll do that. Let's go ahead and jump back into the other camera view now. All right, well, I appreciate your graphics and that breakdown of what we have there. What we can see from Kaio Jorge or George. George. Sorry, George. Dang it. That's going to get me now. Now I trained myself to do the other one, so I'm messing it up. Anyway, you like to see what he's done and what he can do there. But what would you like to see going forward? Especially maybe see him get some either minutes, even if you're even seeing in like some training video or whatever have you, that he can bring to the Serie A. To become a viable asset for Juventus going forward, not just Plus Valenza. Least,
So I expect him to get a lot better, even just training with these players. Training with Morata, training with Ronaldo, training with Kulusevski and Dybala. I expect him to get a lot better anyway. My expectations for the season, I expect him to at least feature in 20 Serie A games and all the Coppa Italia games, at least. Or as many as possible, because if we reach the final, realistically, he's not going to play. But again, I'm going to rip on Salernitana. I'm going to rip on these teams. You need him to play some minutes against these teams. Like it's a certainty, or else you're wasting a year out of him. Because why put him on the first team anyway? At that point, if you're not going to play him, so I expect at least 20 Serie A appearances, many Coppa Italia games, maybe even against a really crappy Champions League team and like a pot 4 team. Mm-hmm. In terms of goal contributions, I just want to see him link up well. I just want to see him what he does best. He off the ball stuff. I need to see him continue what he's doing, running into the channels, creating open space for other players to run into. The link up play, like I showed you with the back heels, with the coming to collect and spraying the ball. I need to see that. Again, the expectations, we shouldn't have them up here. Just like he's 19 years old coming into a new league, a new team. Max Allegri, who's a very demanding coach. So again, I don't expect many goal contributions, but I do expect the link up play and what he's actually good at to show for Juventus.
Do you think, being that you played like collegiate soccer in the United States, what do you expect? Like when you see him coming in here, what do you think was without having, him really to answer for it right now until he, actually does interviews with Juventus. What do you think it really was that maybe like drew him to Juventus? Obviously, besides the name of Juventus in the history, but like, do you think there was a draw because of like playing with Ronaldo or like learning from players like that? Or do you think that was more of an added bonus? Does that make sense? Because I felt like I kind of allocate those two, the rumors of what he is, and all that. I don't know if that's
definitely. There's some Brazilians on Juventus already, so like that probably definitely helped him out. Like Arthur, Alexandre Danilo, they're all there, so they're going to help him right away. The allure of Ronaldo being on the team, even players like you can learn stuff from Morata. I know everyone shits on Morata. Sorry for my language, but like Morata's a good player. I don't care what anyone says. I know he flubs some chances, but his off the ball stuff is incredible. The way his work rate, his defensive pressures, his ability to press just by himself, even his tackling as a forward is incredible. Again, his touch kind of sucks, but whatever. And his finishing, he flubs some chances. But even learning from a guy like Morata, like to keep up that work rate, that you'll get your chances, but just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show for Morata as well. I mean, I am, but I'm not turning this into a full like save Morata thing.
Yeah.
At the same time, like there's plenty of times where I'd see people hate on Morata or say that we don't need him, we don't buy him, or whatever. But like he brings a passion and effort to. He loves
100%.
He's one of those players that you can see that he loves being out there. He loves wearing the shirt, but he also brings that effort, and he's almost always consistently in range of scoring. Like there's always one play. Yeah, he may miss, or he may kick off, or
but he's there.
He's always there. He's always right there to be able to attempt it. It's not one of those wasted plays every single time where he didn't even at least get an opportunity to probably take a shot on goal or whatever. So like I'm definitely in agreement there when it comes to Morata, that he gets a lot of hate, and I don't fully understand all of it. When it comes, like the Spanish.
Yeah, again, like I said, you're as a striker, you're meant to score goals, but if you're not scoring goals as a striker, you got to bring the other stuff. You got to bring the link up play. You got to bring the pressures. you got to bring up you got to bring all this off the ball running stuff and creating space for other players like a Ronaldo, like a Dybala. So as long as Kaio Jorge can do that and get acclimated with the club, his goals will come. The goal, like as a forward, you're going to get chances on this team. Like Cuadrado's crossing the ball into you. The ball is creating chances. Kulusevski's creating chances. Chiesa is creating chances. As a forward, you know you're going to get a chance to score. Like you might flub it like Morata, but just do your job. Do what you're good at, and you'll succeed.
Exactly. And okay, I had one little last part. Do you have any other thoughts or ideas that you wanted to get out before we wrap this up? Because I did have a question I wanted to have for you to finish this.
I just want to emphasize these points one more time. Like his fitness levels and his motor, it's incredible for a 19-year-old, especially. His willingness to defend as a forward, it's very good. Again, his off the ball stuff is very good. His running into channels, opening up space for everybody else is very good, and his link up play is good. And I just want to emphasize those things. Don't worry about his goal contributions right away.
And I want to apologize to anybody if there was any parts of it during the graphics that I like slowed down a little bit when it came to that. It's just my stupidity and me not fully understanding it. Trying to take it all in at the same time. It's like I said, I'm learning, and this is why I love this this kind of video that we're doing. Because for people that maybe are passionate about the game, but there's a lot of sports people love, but they don't fully understand every little those little details. There's here's the last part that I really want to have for you. So not that you're a betting man, but what would you say? What would you expect to see from Kaio Jorge? This is gonna kill me every time. What do you expect to see from Kaio Jorge this year and going into possibly the next season? Do you expect him to be obviously not a star? Okay. Well, do you expect him to be a starter?
No.
Do you expect him to be a role player or potentially a regular use player, obviously a sub off the bench, something like that? Do you expect him to maybe get loaned out somewhere, or do you expect some other option going forward? Does that make sense? I'm trying to see what you think.
Yeah.
If he'll end up being, that makes sense.
Yeah. So again, I don't want him to get loaned out because we do need a fourth striker in the club. Like last year, I mentioned this on the lives. We had a lot of injuries last year. We ended up having to play Kulusevski up front. So I do want Kaio Jorge with the first team, and I want him learning under Morata, Ronaldo this year, and Dybala. And like I said in this show, I expect him to appear 20 times in Serie A, barring injury. So that would be good for him. That would be a good first year in Italy. Again, the goal contributions, they'll come, but I'm not expecting much right now. It's a learning year. It's a learning year definitely for him. But I do want him to play a bit.
Definitely. This is something I'm curious with. Anytime a player comes in, I always wonder what's going to happen. Is it going to stick, or is it going to be something where maybe in a year we're sitting here thinking we'll see what happens. Maybe you can develop a little bit more, do whatever, it's just loans happen all the time. So whatever it is. I just want to throw that in. There was just a little cheeky part at the end. Anything else? You gave him a lot of your statements or whatever that you had when it came to Kaio Jorge. George. Whatever. When it comes to the player, to the Brazilian player, I appreciate you doing this rundown for us. It gives us a lot more information to really kind of take in, to like settle in with, and then maybe hopefully cool some people's jets when it comes to these players. Because there's always going to be those fans out there that are going to be like, why is he not out there playing? Why is he not getting his playing time? Morata needs to said he would be out there. He would have finished that, or something like that. Yeah. When you've never seen the player play at this level at this point, and that's something it's important to say, but also to see how the future goes for the player in general. Anyway, before anything else, final comments. I know I kind of
my final comment about him is he does have a bit of a clutch gene in him in terms of goal scoring in big games. So he's recently played in the Copa Sudamericana, which is the Europa League of South America, and he scored a bunch of knockout goals recently, like 2 or 3. And he's the one who sent Santos on their way to, I think they're in a final now, and he's not even going to be a part of it, or a semifinal, either or. Regardless, he's gone. He's our player now, so I don't really follow Santos anymore. So yeah, so he does have a bit of a clutch gene in him, even with the Brazilian youth setup. He has scored some goals for them that have been clutch. So look out for that, because that's what Morata is all about as well.
Definitely. I'm excited to see how this player develops going in the
Yep.
future. Hopefully he can become something really, something, I guess a little what's the word I'm looking for? The gem. A
Yeah.
you know, yeah, whatever. A diamond in the rough for
Yeah.
Juventus in the future
Yeah.
going forward.
That's a perfect way to describe him. He's a diamond in the rough right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, he can develop into that. We'll see what happens. Keep your eyes on him going forward into the future for the club. Anyway, I appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah.
I guess you all. Giannotti's a part of this. He's just joining us. He's a part of the Bianconeri Zone. He is what we do here. Make sure you tune in every day. We do daily videos in the mornings. We'll have our latest or mornings for me. I know what time. I don't know what time it is for you guys. Anyway, we do it for me. It's an early daily show, and then later we do our daily lives, which he will be a part of once he gets back. He's got a big wedding week this week going on,
Yeah.
but he will be a part of it again once he gets back and after all that his festivities are over with. Anyway, so make sure you check into those. Those are 10:45 p.m. Turin time. I'm just gonna say that. That'll be easy to do the math for that, so you can tune into those. And anyway, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Also, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below if you haven't. Let us know who you are before. If you're newly subscribed, we want to know where you're from and what's your story, how you became a Juventus fan.
Definitely.
That's definitely a big part of what we do and why we do this here, what we're passionate about. Anyway, make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram at Bianconeri Zone. Follow me at Justin Sofer on Twitter, and follow Julian at Giannotti151 on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.
Woo!